get you back after being dumped, these are the savage things they will do. Welcome, everyone. It's truly wonderful to have all of you here today. In this video, we want to express our heartfelt appreciation for your presence and unwavering support. Now, let's delve into various approaches and strategies. When a narcissist seeks to rekindle a relationship with you, they will go to great lengths, often picking up right where they left off. They are masters at using carefully crafted words and gestures to elicit a reaction from you. This is a common tactic employed by narcissists worldwide. They may even shower you with gifts, hoping that you will forget the past and embrace the promise of a brighter future. Their typical strategy involves convincing you that you are the sole focus of their deepest affection. Narcissists are skilled at commanding attention and controlling the narrative, but they fail to see the true value of your uniqueness. Some narcissists can be incredibly persistent, finding their way back into your life like a boomerang. Their influence extends like tentacles, always searching for an opportunity to re-enter your world. This is especially true if you were a vital source of supply for them, or if they have ulterior motives for causing you harm. It is for these reasons that a narcissist may seek to reignite a romantic connection. They may temporarily be sidetracked by what they perceive as better sources of supply, causing a delay in their hoovering attempts. However, sooner or later, they will return, using the same manipulative tactics to re-enter your life and continue their torment. The devil won't show up with pitchforks and horns. Instead, they will come disguised as an angel bearing gifts, knocking on your doorstep. Narcissists understand that establishing close relationships with potential victims is the best way to set the stage for future hoovering attempts. They aim to win your trust, transforming you into their human drones. Their flying monkeys become part of the smear campaign, keeping the narcissist informed about your whereabouts long after you have cut ties with them. Once you identify a narcissist in your life and decide to implement a no-contact policy, be prepared to extend this policy to any friends or family members unknowingly serving as flying monkeys for the narcissist. Whether it's a sibling, parent, or child, I've come to view them all as mere pawns serving the narcissist's agenda. If any of my friends choose to ally themselves with the narcissist, it's a goodbye I have to bid. These individuals serve as instruments through which the narcissist keeps tabs on me, waiting for the opportune moment to make contact. They may use situations like family deaths, breakups, or even congratulatory messages for personal achievements or promotions to catch me off guard and break the no-contact boundary. The next tactic employed by the narcissist is to play the victim. They may portray themselves as a desperate soul on the brink of suicide, claiming they cannot survive without you. Threatening death or making extreme demands to win you back is an insidious form of manipulation. Their display of desperation and hopelessness intends to convince you that you are their sole lifeline. This victim-playing technique might be accompanied by a barrage of apologies, promises of change, and fake tears. Narcissists possess the talent to cry on demand, as they believe this emotional display will be their winning ticket to regain our favor. However, it is imperative to grasp the reality of the situation. Narcissists, regardless of gender, can cry uncontrollably at any given moment. Their tears are nothing more than a charade. They know that we have the power to decide whether or not to allow them back into our lives, and they exploit this knowledge by manipulating us through various tactics. Narcissists will stop at nothing to make us feel guilty and sympathize with them. They employ charm, sob stories, a disarming smile, and perhaps even shed a few tears to sway us. Their ultimate goal is to acquire our love, pity, help, and loyalty. It's crucial to remember that narcissists lack genuine empathy or understanding for our struggles. They solely seek to exploit us, relying on our provision of narcissistic supply to boost their own sense of self-worth. So, when dealing with a narcissist attempting to re-enter your life, it is vital not to yield to their false acts of assistance and not to be enticed by their alluring gestures. We must remain steadfast in recognizing that a narcissist's kindness is a facade, serving a hidden motive, whether to exploit our assets or to utterly decimate our well-being. Furthermore, they have no qualms about using kindness as a manipulative bargaining chip. If accepting a gift helps you maintain distance and feel more secure, it may be acceptable. However, we must always be mindful that narcissists excel at deception and displaying false remorse. They will patiently wait for the opportune moment when you open the door, eager to re-establish their dominance. It might take weeks, months, or even years, but once they have you where they want you, they will swiftly resume their destructive behaviors or begin their plans to ruin you. Narcissists don't simply make innocent mistakes that can be rectified with a straightforward explanation or apology, with the assurance that such behavior won't be repeated. In fact, narcissists are inherently driven to repeatedly hurt others when given the chance. They will persistently attempt to gain re-entry if you leave the door ajar. It is essential to not only eliminate the narcissist from your life, but also the toxic flying monkeys who eagerly hand you back to the narcissist. If you were to remove one of the narcissist's flying monkeys, it is likely that the narcissist would discard the other as well, as they no longer serve a purpose. Narcissists only care about you as long as you'd fulfill their needs. If they believe playing the victim or being excessively polite will pave the way for a reconciliation, they may resort to utilizing flying monkeys. Hence, it is crucial to remain cautious of the narcissist's preferred methods of regaining control and the individuals they may manipulate. Next time will inevitably arrive. Stay vigilant for signs of the narcissist's return, and don't hesitate to discuss the strategies they may employ to re-enter your life. That covers everything I can think of at the moment. I trust that this information has been helpful to you as always. Please feel free to leave your comments and questions on this topic below. We eagerly await and appreciate your input. If you haven't already, we would greatly appreciate your subscription to our channel and hitting the bell icon so that you don't miss any of our future uploads. Thank you for watching. God is just. This is the karma that God will give to narcissists who are evil to their partners. Have you experienced mistreatment and exploitation at the hands of someone who seemed to derive pleasure from your suffering? You are not alone in this ordeal. Throughout your relationship with the narcissist, you may have given your all and constantly sought their approval. Despite your efforts to be fair, they continued to treat you unfairly, using your own words and emotions against you. They belittled and ridiculed you with impunity. Their self-centered nature may have even caused them to forget the extent of the harm they inflicted upon you. For them, causing you suffering was more important than any thrill they derived or sense of power they obtained. We understand the severity of these toxic relationships, which is why we are here to assist you. Our team offers one-on-one sessions starting at just $1 a week. Through personalized sessions, we will help you heal from narcissistic abuse and guide you towards reclaiming your power and finding peace of mind. Click the link provided in the text below to take the first step towards a future filled with healthier and more fulfilling connections. Narcissists took delight in subjecting you to distressing circumstances and watched as you struggled to overcome their mistreatment. They reveled in spreading tales of your brokenness, mocking and ridiculing you. Your sadness became a source of amusement for them, and they relished in displaying their perceived triumph of discarding you. They found amusement in knowing that they played a significant role in your downfall. In fact, it brought them joy and pleasure. They boasted about how they had rid themselves of you, deriving a sense of satisfaction from sharing the pain you experienced with others. However, there is one aspect that narcissists fail to comprehend: the role karma plays in reciprocating their actions. The consequences of their actions tend to catch up with them in due time. Bad luck often returns as a form of retribution, potentially exceeding the suffering they imposed upon you. At some point, they will begin to experience the pain they so callously inflicted upon you. Over time, karma will exact its toll on them. Although the manifestation may not be immediate, rest assured that it will inevitably arrive. Despite their belief that they can escape the consequences of their mistreatment and the numerous wrongs they have committed against you, the reckoning will catch up with them soon enough. This is because, despite causing immense harm, they are devoid of strength, never making any efforts to rectify their actions. They fail to take any steps towards making amends or improving the situation they created. Instead, they choose to abandon you amidst the chaos they caused, believing they can evade accountability. This is precisely where karma comes into play. While it may initially provide them a fleeting sense of satisfaction for the turmoil they inflicted upon you, it will ultimately prove insufficient, leading to their downfall. Deep down, they acknowledge the magnitude of what they have done to you, yet they never make an attempt to right their wrongs. They evade facing the consequences of their actions and show a profound disregard for others. They harbor no remorse for the pain they inflicted upon you. It is at this juncture that they will encounter a series of unfortunate events, seemingly untouched by the consequences of their treatment towards you. They will feel a false sense of tranquility, believing they have evaded retribution for their actions, and convince themselves they can repeat these patterns with others without repercussions. When karma finally catches up with them, they will be fully aware of why, but will instinctively resist facing the truth. They will attempt to justify their treatment of you, and when that fails, fabricate reasons to shift blame onto external factors for the suffering they are now experiencing. They will refuse to accept accountability, instead holding you responsible for their own troubles, as they refuse to acknowledge the direct correlation between their actions and the resulting consequences. It is a direct outcome of their mistreatment of you. As karma turns against them, you will witness them endure the repercussions of their behavior. All the harm and pain they inflicted upon you will come back to haunt them. Justice will ultimately prevail, aligning in your favor. You will witness their futile attempts to seek alternative means of obtaining what they desire, seeking out individuals who they believe will shield them from the consequences of karma. Narcissists abhor being alone, as they perceive the presence of people who they believe will protect them from the grips of karma as crucial. However, this facade of happiness can only be sustained for a limited time before karma inevitably asserts itself. You may perceive that they are prospering and evading any consequences for their actions. But here's the truth. Narcissists can only maintain a facade of happiness and success for fleeting moments. You have witnessed this firsthand. Each time a narcissist attempts to forge a new connection with someone, they ultimately break it. They are destined for this repetitive cycle, as they never take accountability for their harmful behavior. The absence of genuine apologies or remorse is what entangled you with them in the first place. They succeeded in deceiving you into thinking they were a different person. However, in the end, their true colors emerged. For a brief moment, you unknowingly shielded them from the karmic retribution they rightfully deserved. But it wasn't long before you discovered that you were nothing more than another link in the chain, a sequence of misfortune that had haunted them throughout their lives. You came to realize that the next person they encountered would become yet another link in that chain. You recognize their inability to break free from the cycle of bad karma. Ultimately, this realization granted you the justice you sought. You understood that their mistreatment of you had little to do with your worth. It was merely a means for them to momentarily elude the consequences that awaited them regardless. You were unwittingly complicit in their effort to sidestep their destined fate. Now that you have redirected your focus to yourself, rebuilt your life without their presence, and gathered all the shattered pieces of your being, you begin to notice an abundance of good fortune surrounding you. Conversely, the weight of bad fate will continue to trail them, observant and haunting, a constant presence in their every move. We appreciate you watching. May this metaphorical movie help you comprehend the profound impact of karma on our lives and how it echoes back based on our actions. In the meantime, keep your senses attuned, embrace your courage, and live your best life today. This is 10 Behaviors of Victims of Mental Abuse by Narcissists. Learning from the experiences of those who have survived the mental abuse inflicted by a narcissist can provide valuable insights into navigating your own situation. It is crucial to recognize how damaging such behavior can be, not only to one's prospects of finding love and emotional fulfillment, but also to their overall well-being. Changes in behavior can occur for various reasons, and emotional fluctuations are a natural reflection of human nature. However, just as one can make improvements in other aspects of life, behavioral changes can also be addressed and improved. Now let's delve into the specific signs that victims of narcissistic abuse may exhibit. Number 1. Depression and anxiety. Have you encountered someone who consistently appears weighed down by worry and sadness? Perhaps you invested significant time and effort into checking on their well-being, always seeking reassurance. The underlying issue could potentially stem from mental abuse inflicted by a narcissist. Being subjected to relentless criticism takes a toll on one's mental and emotional state. Recovery is not as swift as healing from a physical bruise treated with cold packs. Instead, emotional abuse inflicts deep, long-lasting wounds. Verbal abuse, which can be subtle but profoundly damaging, often occurs within relationships where the victim has regular interactions with or cannot easily avoid the perpetrator. When one anticipates ongoing abuse, it is unrealistic to expect feelings of positivity and happiness. In fact, it can leave individuals feeling hopeless and helpless, leading some to contemplate suicide as an escape from their torment. It is crucial to seek professional help if you or someone you know is experiencing such extreme distress. Number 2. Issues with compliance. Compliance refers to aligning one's actions with the desires or expectations of others, doing no more than what is considered strictly necessary. Obedience involves constantly choosing to follow commands, even when they contradict one's values or principles. Compromising entails agreeing to engage in activities one would prefer to avoid. Individuals who have endured mental abuse often respond by becoming excessively stubborn in an effort to protect themselves from further harm. They might prioritize their relationships with for recovery and a brighter future. Number 3. Profound self-doubt and a lack of trust in one's own judgment. First-hand experiences of mental abuse often leave lasting destructive effects, resulting in feelings of humiliation and vulnerability. The victims may feel weak and defenseless, leading many to keep their experiences hidden, fearing ridicule or isolation. No one desires to create an impression of helplessness, yet despite their best efforts, victims find themselves consistently portrayed as such. Warfare employed by abusers often involves constant reminders of the victim's perceived flaws and shortcomings. Regular exposure to hurtful comments of this nature inflicts significant psychological harm, eroding trust in oneself and one's own judgment. Number 4. Emotional instability and difficulty regulating behavior. The human brain serves as the control center for the body, overseeing every aspect of our being. It receives and processes information, guiding our actions accordingly. Mental abuse erodes the victim's ability to maintain emotional and behavioral regulation, causing a disruption in the body's intricate systems. As a result, individuals may struggle to control their emotions, desires, and impulses. The importance of moderation cannot be ignored, as the inability to regulate oneself can lead to saying and doing things that one may later regret. Number 5. Irrationality and impulsive actions without sufficient reason. This can manifest in extreme displays of emotion, such as hysteria or oversensitivity. Victims of mental abuse often experience a loss of rationality, as their abusers instill false beliefs that warp their perceptions and actions. These misleading notions may not always be detrimental or biased, yet victims end up adopting thought patterns and behaviors that may deviate from what is truly reasonable. Feeling intimidated when unjustly accused or negatively judged for something they did not do or possess is a natural response. It is crucial to acknowledge the profound impact of mental abuse on a person's emotional well-being and self-perception. Seeking professional help and support can aid in healing and regaining a sense of self-worth and stability. Remember a negative outlook. Someone who seems to have lost interest in everything except simply surviving. This person may be on the brink of despair, deeply affected by the mental abuse they have endured. The experience of being mentally abused can erode one's self-belief and confidence in facing future challenges. Pessimism colors their perspective of the past, present, and future, anticipating the worst and lacking optimism. The negativity towards the future is a deliberate reaction to the degrading treatment suffered. Feelings of defeat and depression are natural responses to such debasement. Gradually losing faith in oneself, they may perceive themselves as unworthy of happiness and take every precaution to protect themselves from further harm. Number 7. Loss of productivity. A victim of mental abuse may experience a dwindling interest even in activities they used to enjoy. Despite having the necessary tools and capabilities, they struggle to make progress. They possess the knowledge and skills required, but they lack motivation to act upon them. The expectation of negative outcomes, ingrained due to the treatment received from narcissists, further hampers their pursuit of meaningful accomplishments. A negative outlook, especially when one believes that their efforts are undervalued, becomes toxic to their ability to achieve fulfillment. Number 8. Disregard for responsibility and safety. Psychologically, recklessness refers to a blatant disregard for personal or others' safety. Victims of mental abuse are prone to making impulsive and potentially harmful choices, often perpetuating a destructive cycle of codependency with their abuser. This arises from the abusive environment created by the narcissist, which systematically imposes stress on the victim, both mentally and physically. This dynamic creates a catch-22 situation where taking actions to assert control often worsens the circumstances. The emotional and psychological torment endured renders them careless and impairs their ability to make sound decisions, leading to a loss of responsibility and concern for their own well-being. Number 9. Resentment. Experiencing deliberate acts of malice in the form of hurtful words and thoughts can be deeply upsetting. It is natural for individuals who have suffered abuse to feel a sense of resentment towards their abuser as they bear witness to or endure their harsh actions. Recalling the distressing experiences they have endured often fuels feelings of deep-seated resentment and a desire for justice. Victims may develop a strong urge for revenge and seek to justify their painful experiences, especially when faced with narcissists who may initially appear empathetic. The desire for retribution becomes a driving force, reflecting the determination to strip the abuser of their power. However, it is essential to acknowledge that unintentionally venting frustrations towards those around them, rather than directly confronting the narcissist, may be a coping mechanism rooted in the understanding that the narcissist is unlikely to change their behavior. Number 10. Restlessness. It is challenging to empathize with those who have endured emotional abuse inflicted by a narcissist. Victims often display unsettled characteristics, such as signs of tension or restlessness. Difficulty remaining seated and a tendency to become easily distracted are common manifestations. Restlessness may stem from anxiety or stress related to perceived threats that may not be tangible. Behaviors such as nail biting, foot tapping, or repeatedly tapping fingers on surfaces may serve as coping mechanisms for individuals experiencing anxiety. It is important to recognize that those who have encountered narcissistic mental abuse may have undergone significant behavioral changes, which can aid in their healing and recovery. Seeking guidance from professionals can result in more positive outcomes. If you found this video informative, please consider liking and subscribing. Additionally, feel free to explore my other videos on navigating relationships with narcissists.